Well, hello everybody. Today is MLK Day, so a lot of reflection for me today was working about our country and where we kind of need to go. So, um, thanks to MLK, we have some rights ourselves, and we should think about that. So today, what I did was got the trash out, guys. So believe it or not, the landfill was open, so I took advantage of it and went ahead and took it out today. Because when I started sanding today, it still was kind of wet, dampish. So I sanded it, but I still don't like where it is. So I'm gonna have to probably work with it some more next weekend if I have time. If I don't, we'll just have to worry about it when I get back from Austin in February. So I did get this. I still haven't done the corners. So I did get this. I had to pull the staples out of this. So the staple process, like I told you guys, does take some time. I got the patches, holes. I'll probably have to do it again. No big deal. Lots of mud you can guys see. So there's like little pinholes or where they put paintings or shells or whatever the case was. So those are kind of going. I did do the master today, so I did work in here as well. Some interesting things. I knew in that corner they had a lake at one time, so I knew I was going to have to cut some of that out, so I did. I cleaned it up. The interesting thing here was, you can see the great stuff. So I put in some great stuff. It was pretty nasty in there. So, big enough holes where mice or whatever could get through there. And I think over time what happens is that moisture comes back weeping up, so it blows up because underneath this thing is just air, right? So if it's humid or whatever the case is, it's gonna come up. Maybe in the 80s they didn't have the process of closing up gaps, so I went ahead and did that and fixed that. The one thing that they didn't do when they even replaced the water heater was they didn't put a pan underneath it. So I don't think I'm gonna have to replace the water heater, but I don't think I can actually lift it up to actually put a pan in it without taking out all the pipe plumbing that's in there. It's all the PVC that's in there. I left this one alone because I wanted number one. Can I put two scrap pieces in there that I have? Get it floated right. If not, then I'll rip it out. So I thought I was gonna wait on that one. And then you can see I didn't do the corners. I did fill the great stuff again, so you just want to let it come out, and then I'll shave it off with a razor or whatever the case is, so it just naturally does it. You don't want to cover it up and then have it force into the window or put pressure on those windows. So that's what I did there. And then I left these. I wanted to think about these. I need to do some research on bay windows. I think it's pretty simple, but I just thought I'd leave it alone and probably tackle it when I get back in February here. I didn't do this mainly because I thought we're going to probably more likely put a pocket door in here, and it goes towards the bathroom. The door would slide inside the bathroom. And Shannon brought up, 32 inches. This is actually 27 inches. So what I can do is I can make it 32. Which is nice. So if somebody's got a walker or whatever the case is, this will actually work for them as well. And I also, just use that great stuff to fill in the gaps, and also use the great stuff here. So I'm not going to worry about it because you're not going to see any of that when I put sheetrock around that. It's just keep the critters out of the mobile home, and then I'll work on here. So it still kind of smells kind of musty in here, so I probably will do a few things in here to kind of facilitate that, but it just needs time to dry out. It was just moist over years. It just didn't have a way to evaporate, to actually escape the shower, the steam from the shower, so I'm gonna put a vent in there and kind of let it exit out of there as opposed to just soaking in the wood. So I think that's it, guys, for today. So one thing I need to do is probably next weekend is really get this where all the staples are out, because Randy and I are going to be here. We'll actually be sleeping here, and I got to make sure that the rest of these nails and staples and all that is as best as it can. Because if we walk around barefoot, we're going to regret it probably. So I need to get as much as I can get done, cleaned up wise, so we can kind of live in here. And then I need to kind of clean this out again. And so the water heater works, so that's a good thing. The stove works, that's a good thing. And the refrigerator works. And one thing, there's a couple things I've learned over, and I want to explain this story. And I'm showing you this because this was covered in mud today. And, Matthew and Michael, this is why it's really important to clean as you go. Yes, Lori, I do listen, believe it or not. Sometimes it's just really hard to do it with my schedule at home. I know the garage is not the most important thing to me at times, and it's just those things. One thing I want you guys to, I pulled all these out. So that white strip right there is actually a bunch of these. So you can notice there's paper right here. So what I did was I actually took a razor blade on both sides and cut down it and actually scored it. So when I pulled these off, I wouldn't be pulling all the wallpaper that came off of it, or wallboard. So this is wallboard and paper. So there's wallpaper, and this is your wallboard right here. So that's why it took a while to do this. You just don't want to pull these off. Even if you don't know what's behind that paint, which I didn't know, you really have to score everything, score all your corners, and all this stuff is plastic. Every bit of these corners were plastic. So that's another thing. I want to tell you a story, and I want to kind of jump back to cleaning. Yesterday I went Five Guys and Fries, had my bacon hamburger, and I saw a guy and his wife and his pickup truck, and he seems like kind of a nice guy. And as I was walking, I was like, oh, looks like he's got a trade. But and he was definitely a trade. He looked like he did tile. But I didn't go back to him and talk to him because he just threw all that stuff in the truck. I mean, the cutter was just like thrown in there and all that. So if you're in the trades, you ought to really think about the presentation of your truck, at least if it's in the truck. Sometimes people may see a sign on your truck, whatever the case is. Somebody like me would go, hey, I definitely want to talk to him. I kind of like his personality. Just in a few seconds I saw him, and I didn't want to go talk to him because I thought, well, if he treats his tools like that, I probably wouldn't want his quality of work, because your tools are your trade. Even when I worked on helicopters, I was really meticulous about that. I know, Laura, you don't believe that, but I really was. You really had to make sure that your tools were accounted for at the end of the day, because if you left the tool in a helicopter, you could kill somebody. So sometimes, working a full-time job, doing what I do, and then on the weekends when you're kind of, you're trying to rush for trying to figure out time, you just don't have it. So you that's what you have to do sometimes. Not the best, but if you're in the trades, you should definitely clean up after yourself. You should definitely think about how your presentation is about that. So anyways, enough of my lecturing, I guess. You guys have a great week. I will see you next weekend again. I'm probably not going to show anything next weekend because all I'm going to be doing is just cleaning up. So guys, have a great week. Bye.